What's up, guys? Welcome to the Royale show. I'm really excited to have this person today as a guest. Met her a few years back at an event. Her aura is positive. So I said, you know what? I need to follow her. I need to know what's going on. I want some of that energy. I didn't know anything about her. Then I started following her on Instagram, and I'm like, this person is a boss. She's a powerful woman. She's been making moves, and I just want to share and highlight some positive people on my interviews. And this young lady right here, a boss player, been in the music business for a long time. Guys, show some love to Whitney Taber, guys. Whitney Taber.
What a cool intro. What? That's so dope. Hi, friend. What up, Vince? Oh, this is cool.
I love your backdrop too. You could tell you got a lot of music in you.
Yeah. This is my world. These were actually in my office, and since no one's really working anymore and I got a new space, I'm like, oh yeah, let's bring the girls. I live by myself, but I'm never by myself because I got my big sisters behind me all the time. So it kind of makes
awesome.
sense.
So you got Cardi B, Selena, Aaliyah, Sade, and who's that? The last
That's
one?
Beyonce, and then Erykah Badu is over here, but it's too much for me to show y'all. But yeah, shout out to those are all women that just kind of resonate musically with me. And my cousin actually mocked them. He actually did them all. He's the artist who did them. Shout out Crispy, killing it. So my guy, he
dope shirt too, by the way. You got Kendrick and J. Cole.
Yeah, these are two of my faves. Like I said, music is my thing, obviously. So this
those that don't know, Whitney is actually been got started 12 years ago as an executive assistant to Rihanna's creative director. Yes. So how did that even come about? Let's talk about what happened before then. What did Whitney do before music?
Wow. Okay. We're going to try. Sis be talking. So, we're going to try to give you guys the shortest version I can. Before that, Whitney was actually a 23-year-old housewife to a Marine. I dropped out of community college, was going to college to be a nurse, working as a preschool teacher. So I was a preschool teacher going to college, went for nursing because that's what my parents wanted. We listen to your parents. They want to make sure that you're well taken care of. So yeah, I was going to school for nursing. Really wasn't happy doing that. And my mom, I love this story because I love it's really important for us as parents, or not. I'm not a parent, but parents that are listening to just speak to their kids and let them know their own experiences. So my mom told me, hey, if you don't want to go to school for nursing and you want to go for something else, or you don't even want to go, don't trip. We're already proud of you. And that was all I needed to be thank you. Thank you so much, because I wasn't feeling it. I was more of a creative, but because our parents never saw creatives being successful in their time frame, being a nurse or a doctor or whatever was the safest thing. So of course, directing their kids to something safe is what parents are supposed to do. But my mom told, she shared a little something with me. She was like, hey, I'm an accountant. I make really good money, and I love it because I can take care of you guys, but I wanted to be a writer. And I'm like, what? I didn't even know you wrote. You know what I mean? So sharing your dreams and your ideas with your kids can actually completely change their life in such a good way. So mom said that. I literally probably dropped out of community college the next day. Excuse me, Dean, cancel the check. I'm out. I'm not coming back. So I dropped out of college, but then women, I think young girls are told that we're not really meant to do anything but become wives later and then just have some kids.
For me, I can relate. I come from, immigrant parents. My coming from a Filipino family, my mother always wanted me to be a nurse or get into computers. But I'm like, that's not my passion. My energy is I want to follow something that I'm passionate about, that creative energy. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So that I struggled with that too in the beginning. And my mother, like you said, her perception of pursuing something creative was not stable.
And it's very true. The industry is definitely not. It's not really an industry that is very much stable. So if that's something that you need, then follow what you need. But I then got married. I was 23, got out of college, was doing a couple odd jobs, had a dude. He was like, hey, you want to get married? I said, sure. So I dropped out of community college, got married, moved to Beaufort, South Carolina. I'm from Seattle, Washington. So graphically, that was like complete opposite of the spectrum for me. And first time being away from my entire family. So I actually grew up, I'm Native American, I'm African American, and I'm Caucasian. But I grew up on a reservation. So I grew up with 1,200 people. Like, there's nothing where I grew up. Still, like my aunt, my mom, my aunt, my cousins, everybody's still there. And there's still only 1,200 kids in there. I mean, people. There's a school, one grocery store, a mailbox spot, and then houses. Like, that's really what I grew up with. So being creative is a thing you have to do because you have to entertain yourself, because we don't have theaters and bowling alleys and any of those things. So yeah, I moved completely across the country, and got married, and quickly realized that this is not the person, I don't think. It was a good learning experience. I was married for about 7 months, or I was in South Carolina for 10 months, when I realized this isn't it. Some things happened, and it was just like, all right, well, I tried. So I went back to Seattle, but 23-year-old dropout, college dropout, now getting divorced, have no idea what I want to do with my life. I realized I needed to have fun. So happiness is something that has always been a theme for my 33 years of life so far. And when I kind of find myself in a place of, I really don't know the answer, or I don't know which road to pick, I just kind of just go off of my feelings and my happiness. So I was miserable back in Seattle with my family again. It's a very dark, gloomy place. It's beautiful in the summertime, but man, when I tell you it's 10 months of gray, and to go through such a big decision and being so young and not really experiencing anything in life, I didn't want to be there. I was like, man, like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know where I want to be, but I just know I can't be here. Hearing everybody, oh, we told you so, and this and that. Like, a lot of people don't understand how much words hurt and help. So I was like, yo, I told my mom, I said, Mom, shout out to the moms, by the way. I think Mother's Day, every day is Mother's Day, but moms are such like these amazing forces that we don't realize how are important, and the things that they teach us every single day they teach us. But Mom, again, I went to her, I said, Mom, I know you're excited I'm back, but I am not happy, and I think I need to have fun. So at 24, the two places in my mind that seemed like fun were Los Angeles and Miami. I had never visited either ever in my life, but those are the two places. So I told my best friend, I said, Chanel, I need to get the heck out of here. Like, I can't do this. I got to figure this thing out, which is my life. So I want to either move to LA or Miami, wherever I get a job first. And I remember my mom being like, all right, well, hope it's LA because you'll be closer to me, because they're in Washington. So it's a 2-hour flight. And my best friend being my, like, that's my ride or die. She was like, oh, I know somebody in LA. Blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna ask them if they know anybody hiring. Of course, me being the very independent person I am, I don't need your help. I don't need this. Don't ask nobody. She knows me. So she said, okay, girl, shut up. She asked the person who happened to work at the studio that I now work at, but then also she was working as an assistant for a vocal producer, Coot Carell, who was Rihanna's vocal producer. I mean, Celine Dion, J-Lo, Mariah Carey, Bieber. Like, literally, when you look at his, like, who he is, you're like, wow, like, none of them can sing without you. So she was his assistant. And that's the person my best friend knew. And she was like, hey, my friend's going through it. Do you know of any jobs? She goes, actually, yeah, Rihanna's team just said that they're looking for another assistant. Have her send her resume. At the time, my resume was it was this big, but put the resume together, sent it off. And yeah, Rihanna's team said, they asked her and she said, well, I have a girl who graduated from all these colleges who's this, or I have a really fun, dope one. Really cute, fun, dope girl. And they said, oh, well, we want the really fun, cute, dope girl. Well, I was the fun, cute, dope girl. And I sent my resume, did a couple interviews, just kind of like we're doing now over Skype. And I got the job offer over 5 different people who could start right then and there. I then flew to South Carolina with one of my other friends, packed whatever I could fit because everything I owned was still in South Carolina.
Oh, wow.
Packed up my Jetta, left the rest of it. Like I said, whatever fit in my Volkswagen Jetta was what came with me to start my new life. So I drove across the country.
You drove across South Carolina to LA.
Drove, me and one of my homegirls, took 3.5 days. Drove, got there Sunday night. Like I said, I'd never been to LA. Didn't know the woman I moved in with. Moved in with her in Sherman Oaks to her studio apartment. And started working for Rihanna's team the very next day in a job that I had never even heard of. I had no idea what does an executive assistant to a creative director do? I had no idea, but I knew I needed to do something.
How was that like that experience? And how long were you an executive assistant for?
Yeah, so that still to this day is the hardest job that I've ever had to do, but I learned the most. And wow, it was like I said, I tell people all the time, you guys have watched the Devil Wears Prada. This was my first example of a real boss, like a real boss. Like Beyonce had said once, like, you know, if you want things done, you can't be so nice. You can't be so worried about other people's feelings because you have a job to do. So my boss at the time, she was that. She was the Puerto Rican version from New York of the Devil Wears Prada. And when I tell you, I would go to work every single day. Like, it was the hardest thing. Like I said, by myself, don't know anybody, 0 friends, have no idea what I'm doing. I have no reference point, and I'm by myself. So it's like, girl, you got to feed yourself. You got to figure it out, and you jumped, so you better start swimming. And that's what I did. So I stayed in that job for about 9 months until I could. And when I tell you, like, it was hard. Like, a lot of people think, you got a job working for Rihanna. Wow, happy clouds and rainbows. I'm like, no, this is one of the biggest international superstars in the world. And this is when she was only girl in the world. This is not chilling billionaire Rihanna. Like, this is like, she had 7 albums in like 2 years or something, Rihanna. Like, this was like the height of her career. And if I didn't do something, no one's going to be able to buy t-shirts at the concert for the world. No one's going to, you know what I mean? Chartering jets, doing magazine covers, retouching images, like just so many things that this one woman has all of the control. But I was me and one other girl. There's not like these huge people or these huge teams until you really, really, really get to the Beyoncés and those way in the back. Like, it's a tiny little team, a lot. Like, these are all very small businesses until you get to that level. But man, I still to this day am like super thankful for my boss. She's still, I remember having one conversation with her, and she asked, well, what is it that you want to do? And I said, I want to take your job. And I was like, why did you say that? You're about to get fired. Holy cow. Like, what? Who is this person? And even now to this day, I'm like, man, like, it was really, really cool to see, because now I have done some of those similar things in my career path. And again, I left that job in 9 months thinking, oh, LA is nothing. I just work for Rihanna. Oh, I'm good. Like, I'm gonna walk into any studio, any label, any agency. I could get a job tomorrow because I just worked for the biggest, the dopest team in the world. Very false. I could not find a job in LA for almost, 8 to 9 months after I left that. And I visited Record Plant Recording Studios. This is one of the Billboard's top 25 recording studios, the iconic Record Plant studio. Yeah, like this, it was pretty crazy because again, I walked in there like, oh, okay, cool, this is cool. Not really knowing where I walked into, but I was like, oh man, I want to get a job here. And so this place was it just felt so good. You know what I mean? Like Record Plant, again, like you said, one of the top 25 in the world. Like, what was your position there? So my first position, again, 10 years ago, that was 10 years ago. My first position at Record Plant was, I was part of the client service department. So I was just basically like like help. I was just like the help, you know. I tell everybody I'm the studio butterfly. I would, you know, if artists needed to order food, they needed to go to a club, they needed to order a car, I would put out snacks, I would make cookies, I would help clean up in studio sessions, answer phones, take down messages, just like I just helped with whatever anybody needed. Like, oh, you need something, I got you. Like that was my job. So I worked that part-time. Again, part-time when I first got it, I think minimum wage was like $7 an hour. So it was like, you know, I would probably go work once or twice a week. So I still had to do other things to survive in LA. So I always had 3 to 4 jobs, you know, ever, for always. Like, you know, you got to grind if you
especially
really
living in LA, and you know, the cost of living up there, you know, you got to hustle.
It's very much a hustle city. So yeah, during that time, I found radio. So I started working, learning how to talk better, I guess, with one of my mentors and my big brother, Zoe Williams. He's an author and a relationship, you know, expert. And, I went in and started, I went in as a guest and then became like a permanent staple on the Voice of Reason. So, we were on Dash Radio for years. And then I started to really, really love that side of it. I mean, I became that. And so I started producing my own shows. Goodness, what else? I mean,
I saw that you were also a TV personality, so you did radio and television.
Well, and that fell in too with the same thing with all of the radio stuff. All Def Digital. I went in and I started in LA you got to grind. So it was just like, oh, I was taking castings, I was catering, I was bartending, you know, working at all the clubs. Like I worked 7 days a week and I had 3 jobs. So it was like, I would go to the studio, then I would leave the studio, go bartend downtown, come back next day, shoot a sketch with, you know, All Def Digital. Then the next morning I would go do a radio or podcast with, you know, Zoe. So it was just like, you got to kind of
makes you the boss the boss you are today, though. You know what I mean?
All of your experiences and all of the things that you go through in life, eventually they might not make sense right now, but you're going to be like, what? That's cool. Like, I didn't even realize that helped me. You're learning. We're always learning, regardless if we're trying to or not. So I was learning and turning myself into the woman that I saw in my mind for years, but I had no idea how to get there. So I still kept my job at Record Plant for all of those years. So for doing radio, all of that. So
people don't know, like, the Record Plant had some high clientele. Like, you got you were able to work with will.i.am, Ariana Grande, Prince, Justin Bieber, Pharrell, Beyonce. What was that like? Did they have like you know, specific thing? What was the most memorable session? I know you probably have a lot of sessions, but
I have so many sessions. Again, we're literally the biggest studio in Los Angeles to work out of. So we're a private studio, and gosh, I mean, those people that you named, I mean, Elton John was really, really cool. Stevie Wonder, it's like Stevie Wonder's birthday today. I'm like super excited to just listen to him all day. But like, just, gosh, the number one, I think meeting my big sis, Beyonce, was really, really cool. I just remember really just, because I don't get starstruck. Everybody's real to me. Everybody, like, we met. We started talking like we known each other. We're cousins. Like, in my head, I'm like, what's up, dude? Like, we just, you know, that's just who I am. So meeting all of these people that people have such like high, like, you know, God, like, it was just really, really cool to just be able to have cool conversations.
I saw when Nipsey died that you posted a session that you had with him. That was pretty cool that you were able to have share those moments with Nipsey before he passed.
And it's like, like Nip, man. I mean, it's really cool to because again, we're a private studio, so a lot of this stuff I'll probably never tell anybody about, all of the cool stories and sessions and conversations and things that I've had. But then just having like I said, I don't have a bunch of photos with a bunch of artists, but if those artists see me walking in the mall, they're gonna say hi with. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool to give these artists who really don't get a chance to be human anymore because the world makes them be always on. Right. It's really, really cool to to be able to give them that normalcy again so they can just relax, man, and feel, because we're all so swarmed with anxiety and issues, and we're all so stuck in our head as to what we're supposed to. We're assuming so much. So it was always just really, really cool for me to really just remain as real as possible, so these artists can still be real, and then it will go through and speak through their music. Like, you know, I'm not helping them write songs or sending them beats, but I felt like maybe a conversation that I had with Beyonce in the kitchen, she'll write a song, and something in me will go through and spread to the rest of the world, so we can all just love a little bit more, you know? So it was cool to see some of those and have people catch, because I had no idea that somebody was recording. I got it sent to me.
There are probably songs about you or conversations you had with them, and you can't even say nothing about it.
And I don't even know, like,
you're probably like, that song's about me.
There's a couple. Like, I remember, yeah, man, I got some pretty cool stories and really fond memories, just about the people, because they're people at the end of the day. Like, they're literally the normalest, real. I mean, I think my favorite story, one meeting Pharrell was like, he's like one of my top 5. Like, I've always been, and it's really cool to meet people. I got a chance to meet people that I didn't even know I was musically, like sonically. I always loved you. I had no idea. You know, one of my favorite producers, Tricky Stewart and The Dream. Everybody knows The Dream. I didn't realize when I started kind of working, and I started working with their team a lot. And then I'm like, when I started looking at their discography, especially Tricky, I was like, yo, you're like my big brother in my head. And I didn't even know, like, from Sammy to Mariah to Rihanna to like The Dream, like you did all of these songs. Like, dang, now I get to be around and just have a conversation about how's your mom. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just not, for me, it was normal. But it's not, but it's really, really cool to have people. Cause I feel like a lot of times we do get those, man, they were rude to me, they were mean to me. And I'm like, yeah, but you have to, we all have to really try to tap in and remember that these are people just like us. Like last week.
Yeah, just people have this perception in their mind that they're always this artist, but they forget they're regular human beings just like us.
They have
the same emotions.
Yes, we all have these complex emotions. I mean, if y'all saw me last week, I wasn't this bubbly. You know what I'm saying? We're going through some things together, y'all. So it's just like, you know, we got to let them and allow artists to have that normalcy as well, because it's not fair. Like, they're pouring their hearts and stuff into the music, and money doesn't mean nothing. That stuff is weird. Like, you know, that doesn't fill up your heart the way that just being able to breathe and act normal and laugh and not be worried about, is someone gonna take a picture or try to sue me or all of those things. It's just like, it's really not fair. So for me to be able to have a conversation with Jay-Z about the ratio of peanut, literally everybody's like, well, what is it when you met Jay? What did you talk about? Like, you know, oh my gosh, like that's crazy. And I said, my conversation with Jay-Z was about the ratio, how much peanut butter to jelly he puts on his sandwich. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was the conversation. I could have asked him about, the Black Album and how was it living in Marcy projects and da-da-da. Nah, man, like, I like a lot more jelly. I like a little bit more jelly. I'm a little different than everybody else because I can't have all that thick. That's me. You know what I'm saying? He was a 50-50 person. He liked a little half and half. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, to be able to just do that, and that conversation then led him to, I'll continue on with.
That makes sense, because I'm pretty sure they get all those questions a lot about their album or their work. You know, I probably wouldn't be able to hold back. I don't know, you know, I'll be like,
exactly.
I'm like, which album was your favorite?
Yeah. And it's just like, okay, we get it, everybody. And guess what? You want to know? Go ask Charlemagne. Go ask this person. Go ask them, because they all going to ask the same questions. Well, let's like normalize people a little bit more. Let's humanize our conversations a little bit more. We don't got to be so in depth all the time. Like, let's just be on some chill shit, for lack of better words. Let's just be on some chill shit. But
next time,
I feel like
if I ever bump into Beyonce, I'll be like, you like orange juice or iced tea?
Cause I mean, I got a good recipe for you, sis. I got you. I mean, and I think that conversation with her husband You know, my Beyonce story, like I said, I think that will forever be my favorite, just because that's my big sister in my head for real. Like, we're both Virgos. She's such a boss, but she's so classy. She's still so sexy. Like, she just, to me, embodies what women all need to feel like. You don't have to be just a frumpy mom. You don't have to be the over-sexualized, Barbie girl. You can be all encompassed, because women are beautiful and women are diamonds. So it's just like, for me, I'm like, you can be that every day. You don't have to be on the level of a Beyonce. So I've always resonated with her. And she was at the studio for a really long time, and I never once saw her. She was literally there for 30 days recording. And I didn't even like walk past her in the hallway. I didn't bring nobody no snacks. But I mean, I'm around her husband and the rest of her team. I'm like becoming friends with all of them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the last day of them recording. And I went to my coworker at the time. I said, listen, if I don't even just like say hello to her, you about to have a problem, bro. Like, I need to meet her. Like, this is crazy. Like, I just want to say what's up. Like, I'm not going to ask her to sign nothing. I'm not going to ask for a photo. I just want to be like, hey girl, like, that was it. And that'll make my life. And he was like, all right, stand right here. So she came in, and this is, like I said, this is the last day, and they had been there for literally a month or so. And I'm like, and I just gave my spiel. I said, hey, my name is Whitney. Welcome to the record plant. If there's anything you need. And she goes, oh, so you're Whitney. And I'm like, what? Like, she knew who I was, and it wasn't because I asked a stupid question, or I was like telling Jay-Z how much I love his wife. Oh my God, she's so amazing. Nah, man, it was just because I was genuine and I was real, and it was just awesome, real love. And I went to shake her hand, and she had a Starbucks, y'all, and she had her MacBook. She had a book. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's very normal. And I went to shake her hand. It's like, nice to finally meet you. And she was just like, girl, I ain't got no hands to like shake. And I just said, oh, okay. And I just gave her a hug. And it wasn't like, yo, get off of her. It was no weird stuff. It was literally like, thanks. And she went about her day. I went about my day. And it was just like, for me to know that somebody that I like looked up to and admired so much heard really cool things about me, it made me be like, dang, I can't wait to be a better person. I can't wait to be nicer to people, because I want others to do the same, because it just feels good to make other people feel good. And it'll come back to you, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, it'll come back to you. So
let me ask
definitely.
You work with Rihanna and you work with Beyonce.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if who would you choose? Would a better person, easiest person to work with?
I mean, with both of them, it wasn't like I'm like helping them we weren't working right next to each other or anything like that. But I think just because I don't know. Oh my gosh, that's a good question, yo.
Have you had encounters with Rihanna?
Yeah. I met Ree when I first started working for her team. And she's dope too. Our conversation was hilarious. Like, mine was hilarious. And this was like, again, 10 years ago, but she complimented me really, really. I felt like, ooh, I'm that bitch. Like, after I met Rihanna, I was like, ooh, I'm cute. Like, I'm cute. But yeah, she saw the back of me, the back half, and she turned around and came back, and she politely said, I didn't know who you were, but I wanted to see if the front looked as good as the back. And I said, well, damn, girl, I hope I didn't disappoint you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, being yourself is the funnest thing in the world, y'all. Like, don't try to do anything different, because, I had Rihanna, the superstar, say, I just wanted to come and see if the front
that was very smooth of her to say.
Right? I said,
it's crazy, because Rihanna has that effect, like, on men and
women. She's so cool. She was like, I just wanted to see if the front looked as good as the back. And I said, and of course, what do you say when one of the baddest women in the world is saying this to you? I said, well, I hope I didn't disappoint you. And she was like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I work for this person. I work for your visual, you're creative. And she was just like, that's what's up. And it was just like, hey, and she went about her day, I went about my day, and we laughed, and it was cool. But like, I don't know if I could, I would choose to like work with Beyonce and then party with Ree.
Gotcha. All right, that's fair.
Because those are two things that I think everybody needs to have in their life. So have a good time with Ree for sure, and get to business with B so I can learn. But
That's dope.
yeah.
You know what? And it's amazing that you're able to work with all these people with so much notoriety and so much success. But I'm more impressed about the fact that you came up and became a part of this organization, this nonprofit.
Yeah.
That to me, that to me is so powerful.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that. Like, you came from the record plant.
So working at Record Plant for the 10 years, about 4 years ago, I was asked to take a management position. So I took a management position, and then became vice president. So then I now am getting emails and things like that. So my brother, my guy Jeff, me and him been running this place for years. He'd been there 13 years. I think I've been there 10 years. And I got an email. We got an email. And again, a lot of people don't, I mean, I guess people probably do, but there's not a lot of women that that work in a lot of these music entertainment industry fields. Like, they see these women, like, women in music are the stars. They're the doll. They're that's them. And I think young people only think that this is the only position for women in music. And that's really, really false, because I mean, you can be an engineer, you can be a vocal producer, you can be a DJ, you can be, you make beats, you can do whatever you want. But I think because women don't see other women doing these things, there's not a lot of them in there. So the music industry is, in the fields that we do. So Girls Make Beats, for those who are tuning in, is a nonprofit organization that I became a part of when I was vice president of Record Plant. And they reached out and said, hey, we're an organization that highlights and is trying to, expand just like the women in these three fields, which is audio production, engineering, and DJing. So she said, the founder, Tiffany. So I'm the Los Angeles chapter leader for this organization. So the reason it's here in LA is because I was like, this is very important and you need to bring it here. I met Tiffany. She reached out. She said, hey, I have an organization. We teach little girls how to engineer, produce, and DJ. Can I bring 10 little girls on a tour to your studio? Because I asked everybody in Miami what studio they have to go to in Los Angeles, and every single one of them said Record Plant. Me being the boss, I said, of course, not only am I the boss, but I'm the only woman in the building. I've pretty much been the only woman in the building for the past 10 years. So it was just like an opportunity for me to have more girls in the building. I was like, pull up, we're having cupcakes, we're about to dance, we're about to have a good time. So that was it. I thought it was just going to be, a one-day cute 30-minute tour with, a couple little girls who are looking into music. And that would be the extent of me and this organization and giving back.
That's amazing. That's powerful, because you're creating this platform to introduce to young women that you don't have to just be a star, but there's other aspects of the music industry that you can be involved in. And that's so empowering,
And I didn't realize, I love telling the story about how, when I gave the tour, so I gave the girls the tour, and at that point I had just gotten, my promotion. So my office wasn't that cute yet or anything like that, but gave the girls a tour, and I'm like, hey, Eminem recorded Stan in here. Kanye did Through the Wire in here. Fleetwood Mac did Dreams here. Hotel California was written about this place. We have a very crazy, like Jimi Hendrix first session at Record Plant. We have rock and roll Queen and Ariana Grande. Old Town Road was done, at Record Plant. Like, we're still creating these amazing, iconic, like groundbreaking sessions. And I can only attest it to being the staff and the way that we do things. Because you can record right now. I can record you guys a fire song right now with this microphone. But being in a room like that. So I gave the tour to these 10 little girls. Hey, this is where Beyonce was. This is where Cardi was. I just gave.
Their mind must have been blown. They're like, wow.
They were like, this is so cool. And I said, cool. And I told Tiffany, the founder, I said, hey, cool, we're done. Like, we'll go listen to some music. We'll crank up the mains, like these big old speakers. We'll have a cute little dance party. I got the girls cupcakes, and then you guys have the rest of your day. And she goes, no. The tour's not over. We have to show them your office. And I was like, nope, my office is corny, it's bland, it's drab, like we don't need to do that. And she was like, trust me, we got to show them your office. And I really didn't understand the significance of these little girls. One, these little girls look like us, like, you know what I mean, people of color. Not many opportunities afforded to them. They're told, there's this and that, like that's really all you got. So I didn't understand how monumental this could be in this kid's life. So I said, all right, Tiffany, like I'll take them to my office, but I don't have any cool stories. Like it's literally piles of paperwork and a computer. So we take them to my office. And when I tell you, I saw these 10 little girls' eyes just like light up. Like this was the highlight of the tour, them being like, this is your office? Can I take a picture in your chair? Oh my gosh, like I want to be the boss. Like it was just like, and it was crazy to just kind of even see like myself in them, right? Like just being like, wow, like this, just me by myself. All I'm trying to do is pay my bills and not work 7 jobs every day. Like that's what I'm doing here. I don't think I'm doing any kind of like saving lives type of work.
Sometimes we don't realize the significance of our work and how it inspires other people. And
even after that, I was like, wow, that was cool. Okay, well, y'all ready for cupcakes? Let's go downstairs and dance. So we went downstairs, we danced. They asked me a couple questions, did like a little cute mini interview of me. And then about a month later, Tiffany sent me a thank you and the copy of the video. And in the video, I mean, when I tell you, every time I watch this video, I start tearing up because these little girls, one of the little girls, she's part of the Big Sister, Big Brother program. She was just, the one thing that she took away from that day was going into my office. Like we went into the boss's office. She said, she was like, and I could see myself, I've never been able to go into something like this. And I could see myself doing that. I want to do that. And I was just like, if they can't see it, how can they dream to be it? Like, and that's the realest thing. Like, I know the internet is a place where people can explore and learn, but really like, we have to allow people to be seen in all kinds of fields, especially young women, especially young minorities. So when I saw the impact that little hour-long tour did for these 3 kids that are 10 kids, I was just like, I told Tiffany, I said, girl, like we do music here. Like I see J-Lo and Kendrick and all these people all the time. Like, you should move this to LA, because she at the time was only in Miami. So a year later, Tiffany calls me. She goes, hey, I said, I want to help. I need to help. Like, please let me help you with this because we can make it big. And she said, well, I hope you're serious because I just signed a lease and I'm moving to LA. I've never been there. I have nobody. Like, let's do this. And I said, let's go. So we started the Los Angeles chapter of Girls Make Beats 2 years ago. Yeah, 2.5 years ago. And since then, our girls have DJ'd for, the Los Angeles Clippers, Netflix, Google, multiple events. They did a remix for Janet Jackson. They've done Ford commercials with Angela Bassett. Like we're just creating these world opportunities just for them to see. And again, for me, it's beyond teaching them a skill. It's beyond us teaching them a craft, because we're teaching them what the pros do. We're not teaching them a cute cookie cutter, like they could go and get a Pro Tools certification and be an engineer for, Cardi B next week if they really, really, really wanted to, with what we're teaching them in these courses. But what I love the most is it's giving them like purpose. It's letting somebody that they can touch and feel, let them know that they matter. Like, it's crazy, Vince. Like, the one question we ask in like intake question, and the one question, and they always, like I said, it always gets me choked up. So if a sis starts crying, like, it's whatever. We ask the girls, why do you think many women don't do these jobs? And a lot of people think because it's male dominated, it's because they're scared of boys. And when I got the biggest shock when I heard 90% of the girls, which they're from 7 to 17, they said the world doesn't like girls. The world doesn't give girls opportunity. The world, that was the thing. It wasn't men. It wasn't boys. It wasn't guys. It was the world. So for me, it was like, we're the world now. Me and you, we're the ones who are creating this world that little girls in Los Angeles feel that they are not worth anything to create, to do what they want, to be themselves, to smile, to breathe. Like, I mean, we have little girls come in with their hoods down, scared to even say their name, and then be in our program for 3 weeks. And now they're like, literally we get messages from moms, depression, suicide, bullying, so many things that a lot of kids deal with. And it's not just girls, you know what I mean? It's little boys too. But if one thing that I can get your people who listen to this, who watch this, like, don't think you need an organization. Don't think you need somebody to teach you. Just give a damn. You just got to talk to these kids. But the way, 12-year-olds are they're the number one suicide rate in our country. It's 12-year-olds. It's not 35-year-olds who just lost their job. It's not, 40-year-olds who got divorced. It's 12-year-olds. They're the ones who are killing themselves the most. So you do matter. Like, we all matter so much. And just me, I mean, I tell people all the time, I don't have any kids, but I got like 150 daughters, yo. And you know what I mean? They can hit me on the DMs. Like, you have no idea how far just your words. And again, in the beginning of this interview, I said, my mom told me, hey, if you don't want to go to college, don't do it for me. That was enough. That was enough for me to now be here to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? So that's the one thing I want people to get from me. And like, what I do is just like, you matter, and the little things that you do every day can really make a huge impact. So I mean, now I got little girls who are 15 who have their own businesses. They're DJing dances. They're helping their moms support them. They like completely transform me. I mean, I get messages all the time. Like, when are we going to see Miss Whitney again? I'm like, yo, I've seen them 3 days. I only got to see them for 3 days. So it's just like,
that's amazing. Positive impact that you have on young women's lives. It's so powerful, and we need that in this world. And I'm so like grateful and thankful to have you to lead these young women. How would like a young woman, what qualifies them to be part of that program? Well, they want to do.
So the program is actually free for most part. Funding is also always an issue for us. We're a nonprofit. We're a 501c3. So, what we can only really act when we have the funding. Reaching out on our website. So just check out the website. I mean, they just got to be in the ages of, 8 to 17.
What's the website?
Website is girlsmakebeats.org. So literally is exactly how it's spelled. Girls make beats at, or .org, .organization. And we're doing master classes. So with the way that the world is right now, we're not able to be around our girls. So we've been doing a lot of master classes. We're doing private lessons and things like that. But our master classes are actually for everybody. So if you wanted to, we just had Madam Gandhi. She's an amazing, Harvard business graduate. She's gone on tour with, MIA. She's been a record exec at, Interscope. And she's a drummer. She goes on tour. She's a drummer. And she's an Indian woman who her parents, she was like, yo, my parents wanted, her story was really, really cool too.
That's awesome.
And she was like, her parents were like, nah, you're going to be a doctor. And she was like, nah, I'm going to show you that I can do this. She just came and showed our girls how to record live drums and then manipulate them into like these amazing electronic sounds. So it's just like anybody who wants to be a part of our little world, like, join. I mean, like I said, like it's a really cool place, and
I'll definitely share and spread the mission.
Please,
I know of, young people that need something positive to see, especially during these times.
Yeah,
I'm so honored and for you to even share your time and to share your story and your mission. I really respect and support what you do. Continue to do that.
Thank you.
So as far as now, what are you doing currently?
Well, I mean, what's crazy is I love telling all of my record plant stories and all of those things. But as of now, I'm actually choosing to step away from studio life and get back into, I feel like I can do a lot more when I'm out of my studio world. So I'm actually going back into radio and podcasting with and producing shows and things like that. So I have the Plug Radio, which is coming soon to misstaber.com. All of the things that I'm doing are going to be at misstaber.com, which is MSTABER. But yeah, no, I'm going to have the Plug Radio, which is a show that I used to have, that I'm going to bring back, which is going to highlight like up and coming artists that maybe not a lot of people know about, give them a chance to kind of like tell their story, but then also connect. I want to plug my world with them, and then vice versa. So
I'll make sure I highlight those links too.
Oh yeah, please do.
So people can follow and be informed with what's going on.
Yeah, like I said, we all got to link and build. So yeah, the Plug Radio is going to be my music section. I'm going to have Creative Convos, which is going to be conversations with just creatives in general that are just making anything art-wise. Like, I don't care if you're a painter, an artist, you write books, you cook, you knit. Like, I don't care if you have a dope story and you want to share it. That's what we're going to talk about.
I love that. I love creative energy. So to create that platform, it's amazing. So I could definitely
So that's that one.
And plug people your way too.
Yep. And then my last one I'm really, really excited about. It's called the Champagne Room, which is going to be more centered around love, relationships, and sex. I don't think a lot of people talk about sex and being sexy. So it's going to be more so for my boss ladies and fellas to come and have open conversations about why we're not connecting, on that level. So I think a healthy place for kind of like a Miss Ruth. I don't know if you guys remember who Miss Ruth is, but like, you know what I mean? We're going to be talking about some fun things and some wild things and just showing that you can be a boss, but you can also be a sexy woman. And that's what the Champagne Room, because there ain't no sex in the Champagne Room, so we're gonna talk about it, but ain't gonna be no wild stuff. So yeah, that's gonna be the three things that I'm really focused on. But again, events, I have Miss Taber Presents. Once we can get back in and start hanging out, I'm gonna do a lot more events. I think I'm gonna start a women's series where we can all just kind of mix and mingle, because I really do like to connect people.
Oh, definitely, man. I love your journey. I love your story. I love your, the fact that you put yourself in a boss position and in inspiring young people. That's amazing. Yeah. And then there's a lot of other women there in your caliber that I want to introduce you to. So like I said, I want to maybe introduce them so they could get into your
let's hop in. I'm gonna say the Miss Taber world is a lit. It's always litany with Whitney, so we gonna do it. So I'm super excited to just continue living, because like that's really all I'm doing, and the more I can help people by being myself, the better we all can be together. So yeah.
So that's amazing. Whitney Taber, guys. Please follow her and check out all the websites. I'm going to make sure they're on the links below. And please continue to do what you do. Continue to inspire, be positive. And thank you again for being a part of the show.
Yay! Man, I can't wait. And I appreciate, like I said, our initial meeting was like so like divine timing, and like the conversation we had, like I said, I met two really, really dope people that same day, that still to this day I talk. So don't be scared to just talk to a stranger every once in a while, because you never know who you're gonna meet, friends. But
absolutely,
yeah, y'all, please,
energy aligns,
there it is, man. I appreciate you, Vince. I hope your family and everybody is happy and healthy. And yeah, let's do this again. I'm with it. I'm gonna say you're gonna be hopping on mine.
I'm actually planning to do an episode where it's women entrepreneurs and boss ladies.
Let's go.
Yeah, you get to meet my lovely wife. I'm gonna have her host it, so she's
yes, wifey. I love all that wifey energy. So we're doing it. So yeah, let's stay in contact. I appreciate you so much, and you guys, like I said, stay safe and holla.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.